Alright, what is going on, YouTubers? I'm just doing a review of The Walking Dead Season 4 Premiere Episode 1. Now, get right into this episode is named 30 Days Without Accident. So you would think that they have had it hunky-dory for a little while. Rick's out there in a garden, tending to a garden. Um, he's got headphones on, which is pretty nice. They must have some way of generating power, or maybe just finding batteries and whatnot. So they got some music going. He unearths a gun, and it's just kind of weird how he's looking at this gun and just tosses it aside into a I don't know, into his wheelbarrow, what have you. So then Michonne comes back. She comes riding back on a horse, and they all act like, "Oh, I haven't seen you for so long. How are you doing? What's going on?" So she's been out hunting for the governor somewhere. So she gets back, and immediately they're deciding to go on a run. Uh, the one guy that came over at the very end of season 3, I can't remember his name. He volunteers. He says he doesn't like working the fence. He has his reasons for not liking being on fence duty, so he wants to contribute and go out on a run. So he volunteers, and Michonne ends up going on this run too. See a few new characters. You got this new guy, Zach. Oh, yeah, Zach seems like a cool character. I would have liked to have seen more of him, but he gets axed pretty quickly. Um, so we have this other black guy. He wants to go on. I guess he's a medic, supposedly a medic from the army, and he wants to go on the run. Wants to contribute, but he's only been there a week, so I would have waited to have some people with combat experience, or that you can trust side by side going into say a run on a store where you don't know what's going on. Um, then you have this thing with Maggie. Maybe Glenn asks her to stay back. Glenn sees some baby pictures, and you get this idea that there's going to be maybe some kind of baby talk there, maybe not. Um, Rick comes across like what you at first you think is a zombie trying to eat a pig, but then she talks to him and kind of reminds me of Flory. So is I could see how he maybe might like not kill her instantly because she kind of resembles, I would say, his wife. I shouldn't say ex-wife. I should dead wife. Um, so I mean, they're gearing up for this run. So they head out, and Daryl's usually being Daryl, banging on the window, trying to get all the zombies' attention. New guys trying to figure out what he used to do or something. Kind of a cliche little scene that I've seen before, but it's all right. So you have this new they hint around to this. They have like a count instead of one person being the leader, the so-called Rictator. You have like a council. So they have a council of leaders, and they all want Rick to carry a gun because it seems like Rick doesn't is kind of hesitant on having a gun now. You think he would be wise that the governor is out to get him, and he might want to be packing. But anyway, we get back to the crazy lady. So the crazy lady is seems kind of far out there. So I think this is one of the themes of the show is how do you come back from this? And I think one thing you is kind of hinted at, but not directly mentioned, is maybe the hint of cannibalism, where maybe some people would trap, and they have so much love for their the people they know that once they have turned, they still try to feed them. And do they feed them with real people, and do they eat those people too? I mean, that's kind of hinting. I don't. I mean, so basically, she leads them back to her husband, who is appears to be in a bag moving around. So you assume he's a zombie. And then she tries to kill him. And Rick's got a gun on her. He's ready to, just be like, "What the fuck?" And she's wants to be with him so badly, she stabs herself, and then asks him, "What were the three questions going to be that you were going to ask me?" And I kind of thought, I mean, I don't know. I didn't care for that scene. Um, so we get back to them being in the store. They're making a raid on the store. Um, so they're in there. One of the new guys, he's looking at the alcohol like it's like who cares? It's alcohol. It's who cares if you take it? Like take all of. You could trade this. Like take all that alcohol. Take all of it. That would wine and alcohol. That would be so highly, tradable. Instead, he's like, oh, oh, maybe I'll put it back. And when he puts it back, the whole shelf breaks. So the shelf breaks. Thing comes over. All the zombies on the roof go by this helicopter, the Chinook that crashed on the roof. Big helicopter crashed on the roof. You see it in a few scenes, and then zombies start falling through the ceiling. And my gosh, do they fall through the ceiling? They like shoot. Like there was like a cannon that's just like just squirting these zombies down. It got kind of hilarious at one point. I mean, intense, but then you're just like, two is that's just, I don't know. They seem to be shooting down too fast. So, but then poor old Zach, they're trying to help the one other new guy, and Zach gets bitten on the ankle. Then zombie pulls him down and bites his neck, and they just gotta leave him. Take off without him. Goodbye, but sorry about your luck, I guess. So we get back to the jail. Rick's talking to Herschel about the girl or woman he had to watch stab herself, and they're like, "How do you come back from this?" And it's just, I'm just like certain levels of what are you coming back from? Where's that exactly going? So you got this new nerdy guy, younger guy around Carl's age, who's hanging out with the other kids by the fence, and then they have like a story time, and one older guy leaves, and then Carol breaks out a bunch of knives. So he sees some knives and has to go. Oh, he's gonna hurl. He's gonna yak. So I guess it's the yak virus. So okay. At the end of the episode, we have him, the new little nerdy dude, and he's all of a sudden really sick. Like he got sick from seeing some knives, and now he's really sick. And he goes in the shower and he falls, cracks his head, whatever, is bleeding, and it looks like he becomes infected. So now, also at the end of the episode, we see one of the pigs they have in their little farm is dying, or it died. And I was honestly thinking somehow we'd have like pig zombies too here, but it just stayed there. But the kid, so supposedly there's this new, the virus can now, doesn't exactly, you don't have to be dead to trigger it, maybe. Something like where the virus that you already have, they have in them, can trigger at certain times and just turn people. I guess that's the new big thing, you know. Like, oh, screw the zombie, screw the human. It's the new virus. I don't know. Kind of dramatic first episode, so we'll see what happens in the next one, where the nerd zombie goes on a rampage, I assume. I don't know. I'll catch you guys later.